What's up, everybody? It's Josh coming at you from Nerd Adventures Tower, and we've got some juicy Obi-Wan Kenobi leaks and information that I want to talk about in this video. We are going to go over the new leaked footage of Vader and Obi-Wan seemingly fighting in some kind of a desert. I want to break that down, talk about the context of what we know for the two fights that will be going on in Kenobi. I also want to briefly talk about other Force sensitives, a report that came out several days ago that I missed because of all the craziness going on with my current move right now.
Always on the move.
And at the end of this video, guys, I want to talk about them delaying Kenobi by 2 days, putting 2 episodes out on that Friday, and then going back to the Wednesday schedule. A lot of people are very excited about this. I'm slightly confused and slightly worried about that, but I'll explain that at the end of the video. Let's begin with this. And yes, I am going to be bold enough to put this out onto the internet. I don't know if this is actually a real leaked video or not. I think many people believe that it is real. I'm still not 100% convinced, although this does look very similar to the design of the Vader suit that is apparently going to be used in Kenobi. And people like Jason over at Making Star Wars have said they think this is real. Not really sure, but I will play the video for you. And assuming it's real, I'll try to break down what I think is going on here. So as you can see here, guys, they're in some kind of a clash. Now, if you notice, Vader's hand is pulled up like he's doing some kind of a force push. And even though we can't see it, we can imagine Kenobi is probably doing that as well. Very similar to the way that they did in Revenge of the Sith, right? Now, look, obviously, Vader like powers up crazy or goes nuts and ends up getting some kind of extra force pushing power and blasts Kenobi back. And if you notice, there's wire work here because he's not just getting blasted back, he's getting blasted back with a crazy amount of force. And he's flying back. Like, see that wire work there? Like, bam. He's literally off camera and off frame. And it's going to be really, really crazy to see where we go from here. Now, what I think is happening in this sequence is that they are archiving some kind of a force clash here, possibly even having dialogue between each other, possibly saying some crazy stuff to each other, and then he blasts him out of there. Now, we think this is going to be in the second fight, so I want to try to explain what's the context for all of this. What do we think we know so far about the two fights between Kenobi and Vader? And to be fair, we don't know everything. We have some bits, some news, some updates, but we don't know how it's all going to play out. But it does seem like the first fight is going to happen possibly on public transit or some place where Kenobi is going to have to like kind of run around and hide. We don't know that he'll even have his lightsaber in that duel, as he may be traveling incognito with a blaster. We might even see Kenobi and Vader's first fight really be more, you know, super one-sided on Vader's end, and Kenobi maybe just trying to get out of there. It's also being reported that Vader is going to burn Kenobi's arm in something like a revenge for him burning, you know, his body and cutting off his limbs on Mustafar. And this fight here with the crazy clash and Vader force pushing him back with a lot of power seems to be in the second fight, where Kenobi's going to confront him fully as a Jedi in the robes with the blue lightsaber. This force push was something that was said to be in these scenes. This was leaked out a long time ago that Vader was going to get a crazy force push on Kenobi, throwing him like 50 feet back and like slamming him into something crazy. But apparently Kenobi is supposed to have one of these as well and get a force push in on Vader and throw him crazy far back and be very powerful. Now, it's said that this is after Qui-Gon Jinn helps Kenobi to utilize maybe some weaknesses that Anakin has, and it's going to be interesting to see what that is exactly. Does that have something to do with Padme? How is he going to come out on top in the second duel? Because we do believe that's what's going to happen, and it'll make those lines in A New Hope make more sense.
When I left you, I was but the learner. Now I am the master.
Either way, this footage has a lot of people very excited because it's likely Kenobi and Vader. We're seeing it for the first time. It looks very similar to even some of the art and the concept art that is out there for Kenobi. So I think it's real and it looks dope to me. And I'm just super excited, of course, to see how the Vader and Kenobi is going to be handled with these two fights. Massive deal for Star Wars. Massive deal for this show. Now, as a slight aside to this story, there's a chance here that that's not even Obi-Wan Obi-Wan Kenobi. Now, I generally do think that's Kenobi because, again, it lines up with some of the things we've heard in leaks. But just a couple of days ago, or I guess at this point, 7 or 8 days ago, Making Star Wars ran a story about how there's going to be a bunch of Force-sensitive people on Jabeam. And in the report from several days ago, they talk about a Force-sensitive colony that's going to be on Jabeam that has something to do with Saw Gerrera. Now, again, this is kind of spoilers for the show, but it does appear that Saw Gerrera and some of the partisans are going to be building up this place on Jabeam where they're protecting people, and it appears that the people they're protecting are Force-sensitives, probably folks that survived Order 66, or maybe just Force-sensitive people that they are gathering together. There's even mention of kyber crystals being given to these people, and something like an underground railroad sort of thing, which could explain Saw and his involvement on Jedha and getting kyber crystals to these other Force sensitives. And as I've said in other videos, I definitely have heard that other Jedi than just this Nari character are going to be in Kenobi. Now, ultimately, I think with the Inquisitors, the Purge troopers, and Darth Vader going crazy, a lot of these Force sensitives are probably going to be cut down by Vader himself. As I heard, there were multiple endings to the scenes for some of these characters, one in which Vader comes in and slaughters these Force sensitives or other Jedi, and one where some of them escape. There's also this sort of overarching point here about the Jedi series of games from Fallen Order and Cal Kestis, and this idea that Lucasfilm could be setting up a sect of Jedi that's sort of, ancillary to the main Jedi things that are going on with like Obi-Wan watching over Luke. There could be other groups of Force sensitives out there, and I think it would be a smart angle for Lucasfilm to try to take for the sake of the games, but also for the sake of other stories that they could tell from around this time period. And so even though it's way more likely that this is just Kenobi versus Vader having a crazy duel and showing us how awesome this stuff is going to be, it's also possible this is one of those crazy Jedi that's hiding that Vader's going to discover and then decimate. Okay, so last little bit of news in this video. It was announced in a crazy video that Ewan McGregor shot himself that the Kenobi show was going to be delayed a couple of days, pushing it to that Friday, and they're also going to be dropping 2 episodes that week on Friday and then returning back to a Wednesday schedule the following week. Now, this has been applauded mostly. A lot of fans are very, very excited about this, and personally, I'm actually not there. I'm excited that we're going to be getting all of this Kenobi all at once. Don't get me wrong, as a fan, I am here for it, but I'm not sure that this is actually a great sign of confidence from Lucasfilm about the Kenobi show. And look, at this point, Kenobi, it's got all the pressure in the world on it, man. If they screw this up, it's going to be game over for a lot of Star Wars fans, and it's just a super important show, right? And so on the one hand, them showing those 2 episodes likely to help fans really resonate with the show, get their teeth sunk into it. Then we get the 3rd episode literally just 5 days away from that on a Wednesday. And yes, that could end up being very, very positive for Kenobi. But part of why I'm not sure this is actually a great sign is because that's also the weekend that Star Wars Celebration is going on. I find it to be odd that they would do 2 episodes on a Thursday/Friday. That's going to be the big day for Kenobi. Just naturally speaking, that weekend, which would normally maybe have a bunch of Kenobi trending all over social media, blowing up and a lot of word of mouth, if they announce some crazy stuff at Star Wars Celebration, which we're all expecting them to do, those announcements will take away from the social media reach that Kenobi is getting. And I'm not sure if this is just an oversight, if it's intentional, or if there's some kind of agenda going on with Kenobi. I also generally think that a week-to-week model creates more buzz for a show over time. It creates that water cooler talk. And a lot of that's going to be taken away from the first half of Kenobi because within 5 days, we will have seen half of the episodes. There will only be 3 more weeks after that to build up hype and to get people excited. And, look, maybe I'm overthinking a little bit. Maybe it's going to be totally fine. But I'm not ready to say that that's actually a perfect announcement. And as a small aside to that, if they're really playing nice with Marvel and trying to basically get out of the way of the Marvel shows, I just find that to be super weird because the Kenobi show should be the biggest, highest priority for all of Disney. And in this instance, Marvel stuff should move, not Star Wars stuff. So I just find it to be kind of weird. I know many people are excited about it. I don't know, bro. It could be a red flag. I'm not sure just yet, but I did want to touch on it as it is major news out there. What do you guys think about the delay of Kenobi and the fact that we'll see half of it in that 5-day period? Are you with me, or you think I'm way overthinking it? Let me know about that. Let me know what you think about the new Jedi coming into the Kenobi show and this leaked footage of Kenobi, probably Kenobi, fighting against Darth Vader. Let me know what you think about all of it and how hyped up are you for the Kenobi show, and also how scared are you about the Kenobi show? Let me know in the comment section. Like this video if you liked it. Subscribe to this channel to see more of our content pop up in your recommended feed. As I always say, I hope you are having an awesome and a nerdy day, and I'll see you in the next video.